Good evening. I'm here with Dustin Ortiz, UFC champion flyweight division. You may have seen him in the ring, pounding face. Outside the ring, he's pounding my sister. Dustin.
Dustin Ortiz, Mr. Stay Choppin'. I'm chopping in and out of the cage daily. How's it going?
Excellent, Dustin. Thank you for that. I know that you have had a long career, even dating back to high school, wrestling, pre-high school, wrestling your brothers, and you come from a large family. Can you tell me a little bit about that briefly?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have four brothers, three of them older than myself, one younger than myself. And we started wrestling since we could walk, since we could crawl. It's been a dead fight every single time. We used to clear the furniture out of the living room and we just start scrapping to one person started crying, second person started crying, third person started crying. Now there's two people left in the middle and the winner is the one that's not crying. So we started there, and that led into my dad yelling at us because he would come home and the furniture would be all over the place. And he put us in wrestling in middle school, and we started wrestling pretty much anybody that we could get our hands in until we were champions, and that led to elementary school, middle school, high school, and we just kind of took over our lives, and we became known for little stout dudes that could wrestle.
So you've been wrestling since you were in a diaper. Oh, man.
Yeah, no coaches at that point in time, but we
no
were doing
coaches. Excellent. Dustin, can you tell me when your career started to become more serious?
Well, the moment that it became serious for me was when I took my very first fight as an amateur on a week's notice. I was training, I had wrestling, like I said, from when I was in diapers, and then I started jiu-jitsu right out of high school, and then the gym that I was training at asked me if I wanted to fight, and I said, of course. And they said, it's next week. I said, oh, what the heck, I'll do it. So I took the fight on a week's notice, and I went in there, and the guy came at me as soon as the bell rang and punched me right in the face. And from that moment, it was very serious for me. So with little knowledge of boxing or kickboxing or Muay Thai or any type of stand-up, I went to my roots. I took him down. I won via TKO in the very first round.
Excellent.
They put my face on the front page of the newspaper because I was kind of the local guy in the state of Tennessee, and it's all kind of history from there.
So, Dustin, when did fighting become serious for you, and how did you turn it into a career?
So after I went 7-1 as an amateur, the gym that I was training at said, hey, you have to go pro or we're no longer going to sponsor you. So they paid me to quit my job and start training full time. Well, they needed to get a little recognition out of me for all of that, work that I've been doing and the money that they were compensating me. So I started fighting professionally after a 7-1 amateur career. And I won all my first 7 fights as a professional. And
wow, that's impressive.
I took my first fight outside of the state of Tennessee. It was in California against the number 1 guy in the world at the time, which was Ian McCall. Ian Uncle Creepy McCall is his fight name. So
what a name.
this is the number 1 guy in the world. My first time being on an airplane. My first time fighting outside of the state, and so this was a huge deal for me. And I went out there and I fought the guy and I lost by a decision, and I came back and I said, okay, this is where it really begins to get serious for me. If I want to do this, I have to go to another gym that can get me the striking that I needed because I was still relying on my wrestling and my jiu-jitsu at this point. So when I got back, I decided that I was going to pack up all of my stuff into my truck, whatever fit. I was going to move to the state of Wisconsin and train out of Rufus Sport in Milwaukee. And that's what I did. I packed up everything that I owned, whatever could fit, whatever I needed, and I made the move, and I dedicated my entire career and my life to mixed martial arts to become a professional at the very highest level. And that move has gotten me to where I'm at now, number 9 in the world. So in everything that you do, sports mostly, especially when it's mano a mano, one guy versus one guy, one girl versus one girl, when it's a one-on-one deal, there's highs and lows. And I've reached very high and I've reached very low in my career. And most of my lows have been really low to the point where I give up. I'm done. I wipe my hands clean. I gave it my all. This guy, I should have beat the snot out of him. I should have went out there and won in the first round, and I prepared my hardest for this fight, and my family's coming from Tennessee. Everybody's going to be there. They're going to make the trip for me. I've put in everything that I have. The blood, the tears, the sweat, as they say, it's all true. You get beat down in training and you give it your all so that you can perform at your best. And I remember this specific fight. I felt I was going to beat this guy. I mean, my confidence and everything was there, and my support system was there, and I got crushed. I was crushed with a defeat from this guy that was wearing pink shorts, and it was very humiliating to me to go back and just kind of sit there by myself because I've made the move. I've done everything that the coaches told me to do, plus more, and this guy handed me a defeat, and I cried. I didn't want to do it anymore. And it just took me to a place where I really needed to sit back and think, is this for me? Can I handle this? And I found deep down in my heart, that this was part of it, that this needed to happen in order to get to where I want to be. And it doesn't define me as a person or as a fighter. It just creates who I am. It sculpts who I am. It doesn't define me. It just sculpts me into a champion material that I'll need to be. And so when I thought of all of that and I convinced myself that I was on the right track, I went back to the gym and I trained just harder and smarter than what I was doing. And I won. And then I won again, and I knew that it was right for me. And I got to the point where I needed bigger, better fights. I needed higher ranked guys to get me to where I needed to be. And ultimately, it happened. So everything just kind of started happening for me. And then I got into the UFC. I got these better guys. And when things are going so smoothly, it seems though something comes and knocks you off your high horse. And that's what happened. Again, everything was going smoothly. I felt like I was fulfilling my purpose, so to speak, in life and in my career, and motivating and inspiring people. And then another loss happens. And you just, okay, I've been here, I've done this. I'll go back and I'll go back to the drawing boards and I'll start winning again, just like last time. And then the next fight comes around, I'm doing all the right things. Boom, and I lose again. So this is 2 fights lost in the highest level where I'm in the UFC now, and I'm fighting the best guys in the world, and I lose 2 times, and third time is when you get released from the UFC. So I felt like, I needed to make a change. I needed to change something because what I was doing was not working. And do I even do this anymore? Should I do this? Like, I don't think that this is for me. Like, nobody loses 2 times in a row. And then they offered me a short notice fight, which was 2 weeks. And I say, okay, they really want me gone. You know, they want me out of here. They would never do this to somebody that they wanted to be a part of their organization. And I just felt like giving up. Once again, this is not for me. And I questioned everything. I questioned my training. I questioned my training partners, my coaches, everybody around me, and questioned myself even. I'm like, you know, question my thinking and my training and everything that goes with it. And so I had to take the fight. They said, you have to take this. And I made a move to a new gym, a new coach, new training partners. And I trained with them for 2 weeks, which is not enough time to make any difference whatsoever. But I went out there and I won in a very strategic, tactical fashion against a very high-ranked guy, number 6 in the world at the time. And then they kind of started calling me the next best thing again. And after that fight, it's been a very, you know, high for me. I've gone on to knock someone out in 15 seconds. I've beat 2 guys that were undefeated in the UFC, 3-0 both of them. I won my last one by TKO, head kick in the first round. So I've been down to the very bottom where I really had to find something within myself, a memory of me just struggling throughout my entire life and knowing that that's how it's always going to be and that I will always prevail as long as I really believe in myself and my work ethic to being on top where I'm at right now.
Excellent, Dustin. That is a testament of testaments that if I've ever heard. I really appreciate you sharing your story with me, and I wish you the best of luck with your career from here on out. Thank you very much, sir.
Absolutely. I appreciate your time. I hope everybody gets a good message out of this. I hope you guys continue to believe in yourselves and always continue to move forward and stay choppin'.
Stay choppin'.
That was good.